Hello, folks, and welcome to your outlet for outdoors and Western lifestyle news, The Ben Show. I am your host, Rebecca Wanner, a.k.a. Beck. Riding along shotgun, as always, my co-host, Jeff Tigger Erhardt. And you know that we love hearing from all of you, so please, your comments, stories, ideas, get a hold of us anytime. Call or text 305-900-2363. Again, that's 305-900-2363. Or you can always email benradioshow@gmail.com. How many of you are ready for Christmas? It is here. Some of you are maybe even celebrating right now. And I thought this was kind of interesting. A new survey came out saying that 33% of people are considering swapping traditional Christmas turkey dinners for alternative meals like pizza, tacos, and burgers.
Burgers.
Yes. Are you one of those that are considering changing it up this year? I thought I would share our tradition in our family is every Christmas Eve, we always have pizza. And some years we get by with just frozen pizza even, but it's always pizza.
I think that's a neat tradition. It makes it really easy for your mom.
Yes. And
so
who
there's
doesn't?
Not a lot of cooking and cleanup.
Who doesn't love pizza?
Right.
You can't go wrong with that one. So those of you that are changing things up a little bit, hey, we're right there with you. And then, let us know how your Christmas turns out. We'd love to hear, especially if there's something silly or funny that happens. Maybe Santa gets stuck in the chimney or something like that.
I'm jumping in, but I do like the burger idea, the build your own burger.
Okay, that is actually, now that I think about that, that's a terrific idea.
Where if some people, they like maybe barbecue sauce on theirs or they want to throw a fried egg or something like that. I like the idea of build your own burger.
Ooh, or
maybe we need to do that for ours because we're having our kind of just a few people over on Christmas Day, and maybe we need to do that.
You're thinking we should do a burger bar?
Yeah, a burger bar.
Wow. Okay. That really takes the
Genius
pressure
idea,
off.
right?
You do just realize, though, now you're in charge of the cooking.
Great.
All right. By the way, speaking of Christmas, last week we did have a question because we said we wanted to give away some Ranch It Up gear. We've teamed up with the Ranch It Up radio show. Wanted to give away a couple of t-shirts. The question had been, what is the mysterious creature that visits a family's home and reports on children's behavior to Santa? He can be up to some antics sometimes. The answer was, of course, Elf on the Shelf. Thank you, by the way. There were so many of you.
This thing kind of backfired on us a little bit. There were so many emails that came in. This
and text
was
messages.
Unbelievable. This backfired. In fact, we had to make sure that we had enough swag.
Right. So we narrowed it down, and instead of just having one lucky winner, we're feeling very, very festive this year. We ended up narrowing it down. We're talking, we had a lot of entries, and we're sending out to 4 of you are going to be getting gear. Those of you are. Now, these folks, by the way, they responded very fast with either a text, a voicemail, or they sent an email. Our winners are Tom from South Dakota, Jason from Wyoming, Kevin is out in Missouri, and Wanda, she's also from South Dakota. So be watching your mailbox. All right, this story crossed my wires as some of you may be taking to the airlines and flying out right now to your holiday. Listen to this one. The TSA has busted a 91-year-old for holiday traveling with a cane sword. Yes, a 91-year-old Colorado woman recently tried to get through security at the Denver International Airport with a sword. The woman was walking with a cane when she placed it on the X-ray machine. TSA officials stopped the machine and removed the cane. They pulled it apart and determined it was a cane sword where the blade is concealed inside the core of the cane.
Like one of them on TV.
Yes.
I didn't even know those were for real.
This
I want
lady,
one now.
she was packing. She was not going to be messed with, okay, with her holidays. She was taking it serious. But I am bringing this up because I have done this before. I have gone to trade shows and you end up sometimes buying those really cool pens that are made from bullet casings. And every time, yes, I'll end up forgetting and they're in my carry-on luggage, and they will pull you off to the side and say, ma'am, you cannot be carrying bullets, ammunition.
Yeah, but if it's just a casing,
But
doesn't
they have
matter.
think about what it looks like in the X-ray machine.
Oh,
it doesn't
gotcha.
look like that. So far, knock on wood,
You were
I
able to take
have
them
been able to, once I proved to them that there was no primer in it. Yes, it wrote. It was legitimately just a pen and nail. But just letting you know, if you are not wanting to get slowed down going through that whole TSA process, check anything that's in question. Okay. All right. Next one. Could this happen in the USA? I'm curious. They've revealed that it's called Money Market Supermarket, and they went and did a study on people in the UK, British, all right? And they revealed that 46% of British people are planning to charge guests money to attend their Christmas Day dinner this year. Hosts want help in paying for food and alcohol. They said that women, 51%, are more likely than men to expect guests to pay for the meal. And 25% of people, though, on the flip side, are planning to avoid hosting these events due to the cost in itself.
But I think here in the States, it's our tradition where, let's say, mom is making the turkey, but then all the kids and everybody that comes over brings the fixins.
I would say especially...
So that's kind of the
Well, I'm going to rephrase
participation.
this. I think that's common maybe in more of our Midwest type of
You think
traditions.
so?
I don't know that that's popular in New York. I've never gone to Christmas in New York.
Somebody needs to have us for Christmas.
I know, but
we'll bring the fixins.
I have heard of some ladies doing this in the United States too. Just grandmas kind of trying to, how do they say this? They enforce this because they could not get a tally on who's showing up for dinner.
Okay, that makes sense.
So now they put a price tag
expensive.
on it so that they wouldn't just show up on their own. They understood that there is a little bit of something.
So
that
let's
goes
say
into
you're
this.
doing like prime rib or something like that. That's
Yes.
a very expensive cut of meat, which everyone should be doing on Christmas. I get it. I understand that.
All right. Have you visited Lehi, Utah lately? Get this. An army of 50 giant inflatable Santas have taken over the residents' front lawns in Lehi, Utah. They said that driving through the neighborhoods, you will stumble upon an overwhelming sight. They said Santas, they just keep coming around every turn. Everybody in the town has gotten on board. How neat is this to have matching holiday spirit, holiday decorations?
What's the name of the town? I'm going to look it up quick.
Lehi, Utah.
Lehi. Okay, continue. I'll look it up here.
Anyway, regardless, that's kind of the story. I just love it when I hear about small towns embracing holidays such as Christmas and everybody gets on board. You know how it is. You don't really want to be only that guy in the neighborhood when everyone decorates and you didn't.
But there is always that one guy.
There is
down
always.
that one street that just says, no, I'm not going to participate.
All right, here is some other news I have that actually deals with the hunting world. Colorado voters rejected a proposed hunting ban on mountain lions, lynx, and bobcats in a significant win for hunters and conservationists. The measure, Prop 127, would have banned hunting and trapping of these animals and limited state wildlife management experts' authority. The proposal was seen as a potential gateway to more hunting bans and a shift away from science-based wildlife management. The ban failed by a margin of over 55%, with 1.3 million no votes against 1.1 million yes votes. The opposition, including hunters and conservationists, argued that the decision would remain with Colorado Parks and Wildlife, not through public ballots. Wildlife professionals also expressed concern that the ban could set a troubling precedent for future wildlife management decisions. This vote follows a controversial 2020 approval of gray wolf reintroduction, showing that Colorado voters are closely watching wildlife policy. We've stayed abreast of that whole introducing the wolves into Colorado and seeing how it's been affecting ranchers. And it's kind of nice to see that there is a win for us hunters and conservationists out there. The Ben Show is just getting started. We're going to take a short break. Stay where you are. We'll be back right after this.
Hello, I'm Shane Wolf of Wolf Auctioneers. Our family has been in agriculture for over a century and in the auction business since 1964. With our knowledge of the land, competitive bidding, and experience in marketing, we will no doubt reach the highest potential of your land. Visit our website at wolfauctioneers.com. Your land and equipment auctioneers. Under Dan 50, sold.
The hunt, the stories, the memories. This is Jake Fenrick with JB's Wildlife Designs. Let me capture and preserve that hunt, that story, that memory with a trophy mount to last you a lifetime. Look us up on Facebook at JB's Wildlife Designs to see samples of our taxidermy, and reach out at any time with any and all questions you may have. This is Jake Fenrick with JB's Wildlife Designs, wishing you and yours a very blessed holiday season.
Watch RFDTV anytime, anywhere on all your connected devices with RFDTV Now. Simply go to watchrfdtv.com and sign up for just $9.99 a month, or save more and pay just $89.99 for the year. You can begin streaming RFDTV live right away and have access to your favorite shows 24/7 on demand. Go to watchrfdtv.com, sign up, and start streaming today.
Welcome back to the Bend Radio Show, your outlet for outdoors and Western lifestyle. I am your host, Rebecca Wanner, a.k.a. Beck. Riding along shotgun is my co-host, Jeff Tigger Erhardt. Depending on where you are listening right now, it may or may not be cold, snowy, getting ready for Christmas that way. Where we're at, we are battling to stay above zero. We've had some days that are well below. We've had wind chills that have been all their way down to 20 below already. And we had an eye-opener here just the other day. So we're sharing our real life with you. And that was when our cabin is set up to go on natural gas. Yes, we aren't on propane. We're actually on natural gas piped in. However, Tigger and I, actually Tigger's the one who realized it the other day. It was about 4:00 in the afternoon. And he said, boy, is it not getting cold in here? Because we work from our cabin. And I had already put on 2 sweatshirts and a stocking cap, not really thinking, because our cabin is sometimes hard to keep the heat, how do you want to say it, pleasant.
And this is our home, by the way.
Yes,
I mean, it isn't like our office. This is our home. We call it the cabin.
Yes. We live and work out of our cabin. And turns out we actually had lost gas completely, and it was not warm outside. We're going to put it that way. It was chilly outside. So
Beck had no gas, which is a good thing.
That's horrible. Why would you? Oh my gosh. I cannot believe you said that.
I had to throw that in there.
Well, anyway, but Tigger all of a sudden, he went around and looked. Our furnace, we don't really have a furnace. Our furnace is more of a single unit. They use them a lot of times in cabins. They heat the entire cabin from one central location.
How many people are listening to this and saying, how do they live?
I know.
They're in a cabin. They just have this little tiny heater. No, it works. It just radiates heat. It works. It's
when
very efficient.
When the pilot's on and there's gas running to it, it works.
I went and I turned the thermostat up on the little furnace, and it didn't pop on. And then I looked, and the pilot light wasn't lit. So we went to light the pilot, and then nothing happened. And I went, uh-oh.
Then I ran and I checked the water heater and realized the pilot was out on that. Quick ran out to our shop that is also, we have that heated using natural gas. That furnace was out. So, yep, we realized we had an outage. Got a hold of the utility company that we use. They had not heard of anybody having an issue yet, which we came to find out was because most people aren't like us, working out of their home, out of their cabin. And we started calling our neighbors, texting them, and they said, well, let me find out. I'm just walking in the door. Oh my gosh, I don't have any either. I have no heat. Ended up affecting 300 homes in our area.
And this was kind of an eye-opener for us, and I am very glad that I am the compulsive preparer. I'll just put it that way. I mean, making sure that we are set for any occasion, because we had to get the big buddy heater out. Or is it a little buddy? Is it a big buddy or a little buddy? Or just a buddy?
I just know we have a buddy heater that runs off of propane. They work great when you're out elk hunting or say in your ice fishing house. Well, we did what you shouldn't do and bring it in the house to use.
We were watching it. We were making sure it was out in the kitchen. It was on the linoleum, but we needed to get a little heat in this place because it was getting cold pretty darn quick.
Right. And thing is yes, Tigger is a preparer. However, you failed about 3 times until you were able to finally get it hooked up, which caused us to really look at ourselves and go, wait a second, we found what, 2 houses that for some reason weren't letting propane through.
I had a backup to a backup just in case. I had several propane tanks that were full that we at the end of grilling season per se, to make sure that we had enough propane just for this situation. So eventually we got heat, but you were thankful that I am as anal the way that I am of making sure that I have a backup to a backup to a backup, because one of those hoses wasn't working.
That's right. That's right. So this is why we're bringing this up. It's just a reminder of whether it's your generator you're using in case these winter storms come in, it's bound to happen. It seems like every winter you're going to lose power. You might lose some gas. Something might go awry that causes it. And you sure don't want to get stuck out there. And no different than a lot of times people overlook and don't think about your water pipes. That's the first thing that went through Tigger's in our mind. We can put on enough clothes to sleep through the night and be just fine. We can camp in our house. But our concern was our pipes, because our cabin doesn't have the greatest insulation between our water pipes and such.
How do they live?
I know. In a place that gets 30 below in January, I don't know, but we choose to live here. But just a quick reminder, make sure you are going through while you're home or spending a little time off for the holidays. Really, it doesn't hurt to just take 2 seconds and double check that you know what to do if you lose power or gas.
Well, have a plan. I mean, that's the big thing, and that's what we wanted to bring up, is to have a plan, because we have Christmas lights plugged in, right? I mean, you've got all of these different things that maybe aren't normal that throughout the other times of the year, but to have a plan where if something would happen, you know what to do, because it's never convenient when these things, it's always at usually like the coldest that it could possibly be when these things happen.
Well, and not just that you have a plan, that other members of your family know what the plan is in case you're not home. Because I'm going to be honest, this is the first time I've had this happen in 20 years of being in this cabin. And it wasn't during a blizzard. Did we have a high wind that day? Yes, but it had gone away. But when that occurred, it was just out of nowhere. And immediately it actually caused me a little bit of anxiety thinking up ahead, because we start kicking off a lot of conventions we have to be going to. And remembering when we leave, we make sure we turn water off, drain some of the faucets, just minor things like that, so you don't come home to a wreck.
And little things like, what are those documents? I know I'm all the time. We have an area in our house where if nothing else, grab this, which is in our case, our laptops, grab our computers, and then we have a little pile of documents. And literally, if something happens or the house is on fire, break the window and throw those outside. All those very, very, very vital, important things. So we kind of have that plan in place, and we know what to do if the worst strikes.
The last little tip I'm going to give you, especially if it is an outage because you live somewhere that is serviced by, say, a gas company or a power company, something like that. We found out from the tech that came out to our house, they came door to door, but they were coming around in the middle of the night. We're talking 2 a.m. And they were strictly told that unless there was, you could tell, movement in the house, there were lights on, don't even knock. They were just supposed to put their sticker on the door and come back and light your furnaces. No, we put a note on each door of our house that said in big letters, please knock loudly. And we had the name of the utility company on there and said, we are home. And that gentleman that came, he kept thanking us because he said, I wish more people would do this.
Because he was going from house to house and they didn't have lights on. They were sleeping and they were under strict instructions not to wake people up. And even the company said, we don't call, which is strange, but they don't call people after hours.
Yes.
Which we need to have a discussion with our company.
And being paranoid as Tigger and I were, I slept on the couch just to make sure we could hear him knock really loud. And we got ourselves back up and running. No big deal. But there you go. There are some tips to help you stay warm this winter season. We're going to take a short break right now. You're listening to The Bend Radio Show. Stay where you are.
Is there that particular pair of boots or that shirt or pair of jeans that you just can't find anywhere else? Check out Medora Boot and Western Wear. Medora Boot and Western Wear is the go-to for boots, jeans, especially jackets, and even those hard-to-find accessories that make perfect gifts. Check out MedoraBoot.com, or better yet, give Kim a call at 701-623-1005 and tell Kim that Tigger and Beck sent you. For the latest in Western and outdoor practical and fashionable wear, there is only one, Medora Boot and Western Wear.
The holidays are around the corner, and finding that thoughtful gift is always the goal. We have the perfect idea for you. Meet author Rochelle Barrett, The Prairie Crocus.
I welcome you to my world, a collection of poems, love notes, and essays about ranch life, motherhood, and life lessons from the prairie in my new book, Anthology, and 2024 Ranch Life Calendar. Order both today at prairie-crocus.com.
Beautiful photos with words that speak to the heart and soul. Prairie-crocus.com, turning thoughts into writings from the heart. A perfect gift in time for the holidays.
Hey guys and gals, this is John Arman with Ultimate Outdoor Adventures TV. Ultimate Outdoor Adventures TV travels the back roads to the backwaters in pursuit of the ultimate adventure in hunting and fishing. Join Team UOA every week for exciting action in the crosshairs of the outdoors. Catch Ultimate Outdoor Adventures TV on YouTube, Amazon Prime, and make sure to follow Team UOA on Facebook and Instagram to share in the ultimate outdoor adventure.
Welcome back to your outlet for outdoors and Western lifestyle, The Ben Show. I'm your host, Rebecca Wanner, a.k.a. Beck, and Ride Along Shotgun, my co-host, Jeff Tigger Erhardt. Now, if you missed the last part of the show there, Tigger threw a shot at me regarding gas. Yes.
Well,
gas.
I'm glad you didn't throw a shot at anybody else.
Oh, all right. So it caused me to have to chuckle and do a quick little search while we were on break there, because I knew I had recently read an article about this. And here, I found it. Listen to this. Did you know that astronauts have now been banned from eating Brussels sprouts due to fears of flammable toots?
Are you kidding me?
Yes.
Flammable flatulence?
NASA is worried.
They were worried about cows.
I know, right? NASA is worried that the toots could cause an explosion in the confined International Space Station.
It's a good thing you're not an astronaut, Beck.
Other items, get this. Really? You had to throw another shot at me? Oh. All right. Other items they put on that they have prevented the astronauts from having is baked beans, cabbage, and broccoli. They are all off the menu to prevent a potential blast in outer space.
Well, there you go. I don't eat Brussels sprouts. I don't eat broccoli. What was the other nasty one that's on there?
Well, we like baked beans.
Baked beans, but there's the other one. There
that was
another veggie.
Cabbage.
Cabbage. There you go. I don't eat cabbage neither. So that's why.
So I kind of find this funny that if NASA's not going to allow these in the International Space Station, should we be feeding any of these at our holiday meal?
Aha.
Because I know it's not our tradition.
Or you could sabotage a holiday meal.
Okay, that's really
by
evil.
Putting the cabbage and the Brussels sprouts and what was the other one?
Broccoli.
Put it all in kind of a stew, maybe a casserole.
Who are you? Nobody would
I'm
even.
just saying
nobody would do that.
I would do that.
Nobody would do that. Nobody would eat that.
Well,
I can imagine, little kids looking at it, going, "What is that?"
You could sneak that in there. I'm just saying, Beck.
Well,
it's not Christmas yet.
I'm just saying. I'm thankful that our holidays, no matter what. Or where we're at, yours or my family's, there will be no cabbage or Brussels sprouts. We're marked safe from that.
You know, I'm thankful that you don't eat Brussels sprouts.
Quit throwing the shots. Oh my gosh. I should not have brought this back up again whatsoever.
I'm just pushing the buttons, Beck. That's all I'm doing.
But I do have a good use for the Brussels sprouts, okay? If you have any kids that have maybe fallen on the naughty list, this is really mean and naughty to do. but I may know of a crazy aunt that has done this. You take the Brussels sprouts, you kind of roll them in some of that, or dip them in that melted chocolate that you use for your for your pretzels. Let it dry, and then take aluminum foil and crinkle it up and smooth it back out so it looks like those wrappers off of those expensive Ferraro chocolates, and you wrap the little
do that. My
chocolate
casserole
covered
idea
Brussels
was
sprouts.
stupid compared to this thing.
Put those in the kids' stockings. They'll really
Beck.
love you.
You're a genius.
All right, changing quick gears here. I did post a question the other day on social media about what not to get our farmers, ranchers, hunters, the men in our lives, and I had to laugh. You guys came back and delivered. You said you do not want tofu. You do not want flip-flops. You're going to pass on meatless Monday meals.
Yep.
And a pedicure, although I think a lot of us ladies would agree you guys could use a good pedicure. Nah, you don't want it as a gift. And in contrast, I'm going to say as ladies, we don't want anything that involves the shop that has to be plugged in to fix your mistakes.
You know, the other thing I'm going to add in real quick before we sign off, and that is don't get your significant other workout clothes or a gym membership. That just goes wrong all the way around.
He finally listened. It's a Christmas miracle. And we're going to call this show Wrapped, just like a Christmas present, folks. Thank you again for riding along. And remember to keep sending in your questions, especially if you know of something spot-worthy we need to share. Like Santa got stuck in the chimney. We'd love to hear about it. A recipe we need to test out in our very own cabin kitchen, as well as your area's field reports. We know there's a lot of coyote hunting tournaments kicking off here soon, so let us know how it's going out there. That number again, call or text anytime, 305-900-2363. Again, that's 305-900-2363. Or you can always email bendradioshow@gmail.com. Finally, a big thanks again to you listeners for riding along with us. And whether you're coming or going today, stay with us as we ranch it up. And remember to keep up with me, Beck, all week long by following The Bend on Facebook and on Instagram at The Bend Show. And don't forget to subscribe to our podcast. You can find all the info on our website, thebendshow.com. This is Rebecca Wanner. Catch Beck if you can next week on The Bend. Merry Christmas!